Sushi is a very coveted, very special thing. You don't fudge with it. And I'm thinking to myself, what is the easiest yet most proper way that we can make it at home? And I thought, hand rolls. And with a little bit of help, we'll get you guys as close as possible to one of the greatest bites of sushi you'll ever have. Okay, so like I said, sushi is very, very coveted. Making the rice alone is a very, very involved process. It's not something you mess with. Attention to detail. But in my opinion, as long as people just have some backbone when they make their rice, then most people can make beautiful sushi rice. We'll be bringing on an old sushi chef friend of mine from the last restaurant that I worked at. Now, with all that said, let's make this, shall we?
Okay, so obviously sushi rice is the most important component, but before we make that, we must first make something called sushi zu, which is what you season the rice with. Start with a small saucepan and add 1 cup or 240 milliliters of rice vinegar, a single 2-inch square of kombu, 3 tablespoons or 45 grams of granulated sugar, and 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon or 12 grams of kosher salt. Now just heat that until it's a steamy boy and the sugar's dissolved, but do not boil this. Otherwise I'll be very angry. Then take it off the heat and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. Strain it through a fine mesh sieve and fish out that there combo. You don't want that no more. And well, that's it, Sushi Zoo.
An old friend of mine, a sushi chef, Angela. What is up, dude? How are you?
I'm so good, so good. How are you?
I'm excellent, you know. So we're gonna jump right into it. I've got the rice, I've got the Temaki Gold.
So for sushi rice, I think a short grain rice because of the plumpness that the rice will get. You're gonna have a bowl of rice, you're gonna have a bowl of water, and then your rice, rinse it, and then pull it out, and then do it again. Do that 3 times.
So 3 times, no more.
Yeah, 3 times, no more. My mom used to beat my ass. I'm talking like...
She pulls out one of these.
Yeah, exactly.
So for the most part, Angela suggests a 1-to-1 ratio of rice to water. So I've got 2 cups of rice and 2 cups of water. Put the rice in the rice cooker pot, cover with the water, and set it in your rice cooker. Then let it sit and soak in that water for 15 minutes prior to cooking.
Once the rice starts to absorb that water, it will start to get split. It'll start to become very brittle. So you want to move pretty quickly throughout this process.
Wait, do I just click start and that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Here we go. It made the beeping noise, so I'm gonna say it's okay. Very good. Give it a little pat for good luck. There we go. Okay, it's all out. It's all in the center.
Pour the sushi zu over the rice paddle.
For every 2 cups of dry rice, you'll need half a cup of sushi zu. But obviously taste your rice as you go.
Make one little stream and then start from the furthest away from you and then move it closer towards you. It hits the paddle and disperses all the way across the rice.
Across, over the middle. I'm almost out of zu.
Let's go ahead and cut them. You're going wider strokes, and what you're going to try to do is not hit the rice. You want to gently pick the rice up and fling it toward the outside. That's going to be part of the cooling process as well as spreading the sushi soup.
Oh, okay, I see.
You can go ahead and start piling it back into the middle.
That's a little easier.
Yep, and so right back into the middle, and then you're going to cut one more time.
Okay, so I've cut it again. It's
no clumps.
This rice actually looks pretty good.
You should look for it being shiny. You are ready to go back.
Okay, so I got the towel, it's damp.
You're gonna go around the top of the hangiri.
This is so awkward.
Cross your body.
So like this, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now it's coming up, I got it. So, okay, so it's all in one spot.
Go ahead and lay the towel over and gather from under, and then put it inside the rice pot.
You scoop from under.
You bottom side, there you go.
Oh, that was actually really easy. In the warmer. Keep warm. Well, thank you so much, Angela. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for setting this up and doing it.
Bye.
We've got our rice, now it's time to get our fillings prepared. Okay, so we're gonna make that spicy mayo that all the sushi restaurants have. You know what I'm talking about. So you're gonna start with 2/3 of a cup or 150 grams of Kewpie mayo, 1 tablespoon or 20 grams of the most overused sauce of all time, sriracha, 2 teaspoons or 12 grams of gochujang, 1 tablespoon or 9 grams of chili oil solids, just the solids at the bottom, 1 thinly sliced green onion, salt to taste, and a couple drops of sesame oil, and there you go. Oh, you can also add a couple cloves of grated garlic if you want, whatever. Blah, blah. Now, the style of temaki that we're gonna be rolling requires half-cut sheets of nori. Take your sheets of nori, cut them in half, get it as even as possible, please, and each half will be, well, a hand roll. Now, if you're gonna be cutting cucumbers at all for this, in the last restaurant that I worked at, this is something that I've been yelled at and that I've yelled at other people for. So make sure you cut your cucumber into segments the same width as your nori, cheek them boys like so, about a 1/2 inch thick. You've got all these cheeks. Yeah, no jokes to be made here, all right? Now we need to cut them into even sticks. So lay them flat side down and cut across. Make sure to secure your board so that you get perfect little rectangular prisms, maybe? That are about half an inch thick. Perfectly even. This is the type of stuff that line cooks and prep cooks flex with. Okay, so let's start with spicy tuna. First, you're gonna need sashimi grade tuna. Make sure not to use just anything. Then cut your beautiful piece of fish into small half-inch cubes. Ideally, you want a knife sharp enough so that you can slice this with one single stroke, no sawing, ideally, but it's spicy tuna, so if it gets broken up, that's fine. Place that in a bowl with one thinly sliced green onion, a generous amount of the spicy mayo that you made earlier. I did about 3 tablespoons. Optionally, a little sprinkling of furikake. Yeah, I know, haha, kake. Soy sauce to taste. Give it a little mix, and then remember that you totally forgot to add a tablespoon and a half of sriracha and end up squeezing it too hard because you were mad. Mix it back up, and there you go. Make sure to give it a little taste to make sure it's good. To assemble your spicy tuna hand roll, wet your hands lightly with water, take a small handful of sushi rice, and place it on the bottom half of your half sheet of nori. Spread that bad boy out so it reaches a little over halfway up the nori. Add a heaping spoonful of your spicy tuna, followed by a cucumber stick, thinly sliced green onion, and toasted sesame seeds. Roll that little brother up nice and tight. Don't be scared, Daddy's got you. Top one of those ends with a little extra sesame seed and green onion. Now look, these temaki are meant to be eaten immediately while the nori is still crispy. So put that bad boy in your mouth.
Oh my God.
One thing I want to note, that crunch, I know you heard it. I prefer this way of rolling temaki because it stays crispy. Yeah, if you're a fan of raw fish spicy tuna, this is the way to go. I could be in a sushi bar right now.
Now let's say you want to go a little more fancy and off the cuff. Get some king crab legs. I got a little cluster here. Separate out the meat carefully. Also, by the way, a little trick you can do to separate the crab without breaking it is to snap at the joints. Make sure there's a good exit pathway. You know, there's nothing in the way. You've opened it up nicely. And then tap out a piece of meat like so. It'll require some force. Then just make sure to remove any feather bones in the meat. Now, separately, add half a cup or 115 grams of unsalted butter to a small saucepan set over medium heat. Now, while that's melting, place a small handful of bonito flakes in some cheesecloth, wrap it, and tie the cheesecloth together to create a little bonito tea bag. Place it in your butter and continue to heat the butter until it browns as deeply as possible without burning it. Then immediately remove it from the heat. When you're ready to make your roll, place your crab meat in the butter just until it's hot. We don't want to fry or cook it, we're just getting it hot. Then get a piece of nori prepped with rice. Place on a quarter or an eighth of an avocado, along with an appropriately sized piece of crab meat. I like it thicky. Brush it with additional brown butter, hit it with some flaky salt, roll it up, and optionally add a little dollop of caviar on the end of it. Bougie yet classic.
Money. What do you want me to say? It's a temaki roll with crab, brown butter, caviar, avocado. To make a long story short, this is single-handedly one of the greatest temaki rolls I've ever put in my mouth. Next one.
For a vegetarian with the brown rice option, we're not using brown rice, that's a Kanye West line. You can absolutely just take some mushrooms of your choice, sear them up in a pan, get some nice color on them, add a splash of soy sauce and mirror into the pan to create a little bit of a glaze. Really get them nice and colored, you want them glazed. Then place them on a prepped piece of nori with a piece of avocado. Brush your avocado lightly with a dark soy sauce and a mixture of equal parts Thai basil, mint, and cilantro, maybe some microgreens, for vitamins and because it looks mad pretty. Roll it up and feel zen after one bite.
This one is for the vegetarians out there. I get a lot of requests for this. A lot. Cheers to you. Rice with no meat or protein. If I got this at a restaurant, I wouldn't be mad. I feel like I always surprise myself when I make vegetarian food. I expect it to be like blasé, boring, no flavor. Sorry, vegetarians. The thing is when you really sit down and make it and you take the time and the care to make something nicely, it doesn't matter if it's vegetarian, vegan, not vegan, vegetarian, whatever. It's just something that was made with care. So.
Okay, I get this is a lot of info, but don't be daunted. Take it slow, enjoy yourself, maybe make it with your friends with respect to social distancing, and eat until you hate yourself. But do you want to know what else you can eat until you hate yourself? B-roll.
Guys, and that is it. So we made temaki, aka hand rolls. Huge thank you to Angela for showing us the technique of making rice. She's worked years of her life, multiple years. She fast-tracked all y'all. Second off, Gabe, thank you for donating temporarily your hangiri. Wouldn't have been the same without it. I've been waiting for mine forever. Hopefully it gets here soon. Anyway, temaki, and honestly, once you got the rice down, everything else is very, very, very easy. And
the roll becomes your playground,
if that makes sense, within reason. Now, with all that said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.